this video we will be starting with a new chapter of 10th standard, that is polynomials. So let's start with polynomials. Before starting with polynomials, let us know what do the polynomials actually means. So हम लोग 8th standard से पढ़ते आ रहे हैं what is algebraic expressions are, and we have already studied the same chapter polynomial in 9th standard too. तो polynomials अभी आपके लिए जो intro है that is only the brush up for the 9th standard thing. So polynomials actually होता क्या है, कोई भी algebraic expression दे दी गई तो उसको polynomials बोल सकते हैं. So it has a constant with us, it has a variable terms with that, and it has a power, that is a degree of the polynomial which we have. So there are three types of polynomials normally, which we have three types of polynomials in the syllabus. There are a number of polynomials actually. So the three types are like, we have the degree of we have cubic polynomials, we have quadratic polynomials, and we have linear polynomials. So we have a degree, if the equation has a degree of 1, the highest degree of 1, so then we will say that the polynomial is a linear polynomial. If the degree is 2, the highest degree for the given equation is 2, then we will say it is a quadratic polynomial. And if the degree is 3, it will be a cubic polynomial, and it goes on like that. So we have all these terms are termed under the chapter polynomials. So I hope what do we mean by polynomial must be clear. So let's have a look with a proper definition of the polynomial which we have in the terms of variables and constants. So let x be some variable. So x and y normally we treat them as the variables. N be some integer. It can be an integer. And integers are what? Integers can be negative and positive, but there are not fraction. And a, b and c are some constants with them. So generally in the polynomial chapter we will be it's not compulsion like that, but we will be telling that x and y are the variables, whereas a, b and c such type of sums will be constant in the given questions. So let's have a look here. If it is written that a x raised to n plus b x raised to n minus 1, suppose this is one of the polynomial which is given to you. How can you treat that this is a polynomial? So if you can see here, a and b are nothing but constant. If I take for an example, अगर मैं a को 3 ले लेती हूँ, x remain as a variable and my n is 2. Suppose I have to write the quadratic equation. So it will be 2 plus, what will be b? B can be anything, any constant you can take because those are the constant. That doesn't play any role over here. X. N was 2. 2 minus 1 will give me 1. And, sorry, it is plus over here. Plus c can be any constant again. X raised to 2 minus 2 will be 0. So this is nothing but, this is the formation, this is the general equation of the polynomial. If you go on writing it, अगर यदि मैं इधर 3 ले लेती तो इधर 1 आता, that's why I have put so on. If you can't write with the equation with a degree of 5, so here it will be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and so on. And at the end you will get the constant term. That is a general formulation of the polynomials which we have. So here you can see this is the quadratic equation. X raised to 0 is nothing but 1. Any variable is raised to 0 is treated as 1. So you can write it that 3x square plus 5x plus 6 is the quadratic equation from the formation of the general equation. So this is one of the quadratic equation as treated as polynomials. You can see the examples over here. 2x plus 1. This is the linear polynomial. This is the linear polynomial. Why? Because its highest degree is 1. If you don't have degree in the variable term, the highest degree that is treated as 1. So if highest is 1, it is known as linear. If the highest is 2, it is treated as quadratic, and if it is highest is 3, then it is treated as cubic polynomial. So I hope the terminologies for the polynomials must be clear. Now in this chapter we will be seeing some sections. Those sections maybe I will be describing you in brief now. That is the what do we mean by the degree of the polynomials. Degree of polynomials आपको थोड़ा इधर भी समझ में आ गया होगा कि क्या होता है. And then we will be seeing what do we mean by the zeros of the polynomial. And in the zeros of polynomial, we will be specifically seeing for the two polynomial, that will be the quadratic polynomial and the cubic polynomial. That's what we have for the syllabus. We don't go above the cubic polynomial over here. So I hope what is the syllabus design for the polynomials must be clear. And the division algorithm for the polynomials has been removed from the chapter. Since it is not there in the state board, we will not be taking here. And from the CBSE, it has been deleted for 20 to 21 batch. So I hope the polynomials chapter will be quite easy and it will be short too. So let's have a look and let's start with the degree of the polynomial. Let's have a look what do we mean by the degree of the polynomial. जैसे कि मैंने अभी आपको बताया था कि the highest power which is being associated with the given polynomial is nothing but the degree of that given polynomial. So that's what it is written in the statement over here. The highest power of any variable in any polynomial is known as degree of the polynomial. So the highest power of that polynomial is nothing but the degree of that polynomial. So let's find out the degree for these polynomials over here. So these are the 5 questions which we have. We need to find out the highest power for the given polynomial. So can you see the highest power for the given polynomial is 2. So the degree comes out to be 2 for this given polynomial. Now in this it is x raised to 5 plus x raised to 4 plus 3x square plus 2. So the highest power is nothing but 5. So the degree is 2. So the degree is 5. Now, in such a type of a question where we have something in denominator, if the variables are there in the denominator, we need to solve such type of equations. Let's see how we can solve. If we split it, we can say that x cube upon x plus x square upon x. या एक और काम कर सकते थे, ऊपर से न्यूमरेटर में से x कॉमन निकाल करके x को कैंसिल कर सकते थे. Anywhere around the answer will be same. X cube upon x will give you x square, 1x will get cancelled out and the remaining will be 2 and plus x. Now this is the solved version. अगर आप इसको देखते और बोलते तो बहुत सारे बच्चे गलती कर सकते थे और बोलते थे कि highest degree is 3 whereas the degree is 2. Degree is 2. So that's what we shouldn't make mistakes. हमेशा जब भी आपको कोई पॉलिनोमियल दिया है अगर वो रिड्यूसिबल फॉर्म में है तो उसको रिड्यूस करेंगे देन उसकी पावर डिसाइड करेंगे. Similarly for this case 2 root x raised to 4 plus x. Again root x raised to 4. If the variables are being given in the root, you need to solve them out. So x raised to 4 can be written as 2 ऐसा root में x square into x square लिख सकते हैं. So 1 x square can be taken out. So the equation will become as 2x square plus x. 2x square plus x and now the degree comes out to be 2. So from here, don't make a mistake by saying that the degree is 4 because the highest power is 4. No, the highest power is not 4 because it is the square root of x raised to 4. So please solve it before telling the degree of the polynomial. It's very important. Now in this case, you have root 6 x raised to 6 plus x raised to 5 plus x raised to cube. Now you may get confused between these two questions. Since root 6 is a constant and constant in the root will give you another constant which doesn't make any sense. अगर आप इसके आगे 6 लगा रहे हो और 2 point something लगा रहे हो which is the root of 6, it really doesn't make any sense. So variable के अंदर root या variable के नीचे कोई denominator as an variable है तो फर्क पड़ता है, नहीं तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. So you know that कि x raised to 6 is the variable which have the highest power as 6. So in this case, the degree will be 6 for the given question. So I hope the degrees for the polynomial must be clear and whenever any equation is given to you, you just need to reduce it if it is reducible form. If the variables are given in the denominator, please take it in the numerator and resolve it. And if it is given in square root, cube root or anything like that, so you need to solve them out first. Then you need to decide what is the degree, what is the highest power of the given polynomial. So I hope it must be clear now. What do we mean by the degree of the polynomial? Now we will be moving what do we mean by the zeros of the polynomial. So let's understand what do we mean by the zeros of the polynomial. So zeros of the polynomial is nothing but ऐसा नंबर जो कि इक्वेशन को जो कि आपका गिवन पॉलिनोमियल है उसको सेटिस्फाई कर दे एंड उसका आंसर आएगा 0. सो दैट नंबर इज नथिंग बट द जीरो ऑफ दैट पॉलिनोमियल. फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल, अभी कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, एग्जाम्पल देख लेते हैं. अगर यदि आपको पॉलिनोमियल दिया है 2x माइनस 4 एंड 2x माइनस 4 x की कौन सी ऐसी वैल्यू लूं जिससे कि मेरी इक्वेशन की वैल्यू आ जाए 0. सो इफ आई टेक x इज इक्वल्स टू 2 आई कैन गेट पॉलिनोमियल एज 0. सो 2 into 2 will give me 4 and 4 minus 4 will give me 0. Another way of finding what is the zero of the polynomial will be equate the equation equal to 0. If you equate the equation equal to 0 तो आपको उधर से x की वैल्यू मिलेगी and the value for x will be 2 and this value will give you, if you keep this value in the equation will turn out to be 0. So that is what we need, we want for the zero of the polynomial. उसको बोलते हैं zero of the polynomial. Let's see a definition over here. The solution of the polynomial. This is the solution of the polynomial, or the number which satisfies the polynomial is known as the zero of the polynomial. So the solution to the polynomial or the number which satisfies the polynomial is nothing but the zeros of the polynomial. So there can be the number of zeros for the polynomial. अभी वो कैसे होता है? If the equation is linear, यहाँ पे equation हमने linear ली, कितने रूट्स निकल के आए? 1. So we have 1 0 for the linear polynomial. अगर quadratic होती है equation, हमने already सीख चुका है quadratic equation है तो हमारे कितने रूट्स निकलते हैं? 2 रूट्स निकलते हैं. 2 रूट्स निकलेंगे मतलब 2 zeros भी निकलेंगे. Those 2 zeros will be the zero for the given polynomial. So if the equation is cubic, we will be having 3 zeros, and if the equation, the degree is 4, we will be having 4 zeros, degree is 5, we will be having 5 zeros. So jitni degree, utne number of zeros. So that's what written in the second point. The number of zeros of the polynomial is equal to the degree of the polynomial, is equal to the degree of the polynomial, which is very important. तो कितनी की इक्वल होती है? Zeros of polynomials are equal to degree of the polynomial. For example, quadratic polynomial has 2 zeros, cubic polynomial will be having 3 zeros, and so on. So this is the fundamentals of what do we mean by the zeros of the polynomials. So ऐसा number जो कि polynomial को zero कर दे. So ultimately what we can do, we can equate a given polynomial equal to 0 and we can find out the variable, the value for the variable. That value will be nothing but the 0 for the given polynomial. So let's have a look over here, the number of points at which any curve intersects on x-axis, only on x-axis. I am particularly talking about only on x-axis. Curve जब intersect करेगा x-axis पर, the number of times which the curve is going to intersect will give you the number of zeros of the polynomial. So let's have an examples over here. Let's see with the help of the curves what does this point actually means. So if suppose मेरे पास एक graph है and this graph, this line is passing from the origin. And if it is passing from the origin, we can say that it intersects x-axis only once. So the number of zeros for this is 1. The number of zeros for this graph will be 1. For example, if I have graph like this. If I have graph like this, I can see that it is being intersecting on x-axis here and it is being intersecting on x-axis here. So how many times it is going to intersect x-axis? 2 times. So it's going to have 2 zeros. That's what written in the point number 3. The number of points at which any curve which intersects on x-axis is equal to the number of polynomials, zeros of the polynomials. We are not talking about for the y-axis. We are only considering the x-axis, which is very important over here. For an example, if I have graph like this, so how many times it is intersecting x-axis? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number of zeros in the polynomial will be 4. If I have the graph like this, so 1, 2 and 3. And if I have the graph like this, is it intersecting x-axis? No, it's intersecting only y-axis. If it is not intersecting x-axis, we have 0. No zero of the polynomial for such a type of the equation, for such a type of the graph. Each and every graph have the particular equation. So that is none of your business over here. But this type of a graph will not have zero of the polynomial. And if it is given like this, if the graph is like this, see, you can see here it is intersecting at a point on the x-axis. So the zero for this such a type of a graph will be, we will be having 1 0 for the given polynomial. For the polynomial means every suited graph have its polynomial, its equation. So let it be any equation for this polynomial which will be intersecting x at the point. That's why we have 1 0 of the polynomial over here. So I hope what do we mean by the statement number 3 must be clear. The number of points at which any curve intersects on the x-axis will give you the number of zeros of polynomials which are being associated with the given curve. So now we will be starting with what do we actually mean by the quadratic polynomials. It is a subpart for the zeros of the polynomial, and then we will be moving ahead with the cubic polynomials. So let's have a look what do we mean by the quadratic polynomial. As the word suggests quadratic, so the degree of the polynomial, the highest degree will be 2 for the given polynomial. अगर degree 2 है तो हमारे पास zeros of polynomial कितने होंगे quadratic के लिए? Will be 2 zeros. So the standard quadratic equation for the polynomial will be given as ax square plus bx plus c, that is in highest degree with 2, and a, b, c are nothing but the constants over here. So a, b, c are constants. So how many number of zeros we will have in the quadratic polynomial? We will have 2 zeros because the highest degree is 2. So let one of the zero be alpha, this is known as alpha, and the other zero be beta. एक को बोलेंगे alpha, दूसरे को बोलेंगे beta. Then what is, these two formulas are very important over here. Repeatedly they will be asking you to find out the sum of the zeros, they will be finding you the product of the zeros and the roots of the polynomial and so on. That all we will be seeing in the examples which we will be doing. So first of all, let us understand what do we mean by the sum of the zeros. How we write it down. What is the formula for the sum of the zeros? Sum of zeros means we need to add the zeros. One of the zero is alpha and another of the zero is beta. So alpha plus beta is nothing but minus b upon a. What is b and a? B and a are the constants for the given polynomial. B is nothing but the coefficient of x and a is nothing but the coefficient of x square. That's what written over here, minus coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square will give you the sum of the polynomial. So alpha plus beta is nothing but minus b upon a. So the formula which you need to remember is this one. Fine. Now if we do the product of the two zeros, whatever we are getting the product of the zeros, that is the alpha into beta. Alpha into beta is nothing but c upon a. C is nothing but the constant term which we are having in the polynomial and the coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x square is nothing but a. So the formula for the product is alpha beta is equals to c upon a. So let's have a look with a small example over here. For suppose I have an equation 5x square plus 3x plus 4. Fine. Now what is a in this? A is 5. What is b? Is 3. C is 4. So can we take out the sum of the zeros? Sum of zeros is nothing but alpha plus beta is nothing but minus b upon a. Minus 3 upon 5. So sum comes out to be minus 3 upon 5. And what will be the product? Product will be c upon a, and c is nothing but 4 and a is nothing but 5. So product is 4 upon 5. It becomes quite easy to find out the zeros. So how you can find the sum of the zeros and the product of the zeros? By just following the simple formula minus b upon a and c upon a. So this would be asked in the question, to the polynomial will be given to you and you need to find the sum of the zeros and the product of the zeros. In further video we will be seeing the questions related to the quadratic polynomials, and then we will be discussing about how we can solve such type of questions. So one more main important note point over here is, write it as a note. Note is being given as zeros of the polynomial is also known as the roots of the polynomial. Those are nothing but the roots. Why they are the roots? Because those are the number, those are the constant values which we are getting by solving the equation which gives you 0. The polynomial comes out to be the solution. That solution is nothing but solution को तो ही हम लोग बोलते हैं roots of the polynomials. So that's what we can say, that zeros are also known as the roots of the given polynomials. So I hope the terminologies for the full chapter must be clear. We have studied what do we mean by polynomial, what is the degree of the polynomial, what do we mean by the zeros of the polynomial, and under the zeros of the polynomial what are the quadratic polynomials, and in the last we will be studying about what do we mean by the cubic polynomials. So let's have a look in the next video the sums related to the quadratic polynomial. I hope you must have loved learning about the polynomials. If you have loved learning about the polynomials, please like, share and subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. Thank you, bye bye and have a good day.